In 2007, a book was published that completely shook up our perceptions of the traditional work week. The book was titled The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And it chronicled a fellow that had put together systems and processes and a team in order to allow him to only work 4 hours a week on his business. Now, of course, I've tried to model that in my business. It hasn't certainly worked. I work much more than 4 hours per week. But in the book, he came up with this concept called lifestyle design. And it's the first time that I'd ever heard of this idea of lifestyle design. And by definition, lifestyle design refers to the process of intentionally crafting a way of life or a style of living that aligns with who you are. And that's exactly what Tim Ferriss did as he put together this 4-hour work week and as he was able to travel the world and have all these incredible experiences. So now we live in a remote work world where people get to work from home more than ever before. We have digital nomads now where people can work in different countries. And so this idea of lifestyle design has become more relevant than ever before. And so my question for you today is, how are you designing your life? And what would your ideal work week look like moving forward as you consider freelancing, as you consider your second act career? Now, for some of you, you may be accustomed to working a 40-hour week. Maybe this is something that you've done for many years. Now, a fun fact here for you, if you were to work a 40-hour work week for 40 years, your work time would make up 34% of all of your life's waking hours. That's a third of all of your life's waking hours attributed to work. And when we think of this concept of the 4-hour work week, I think what Tim Ferriss is saying is, yes, we need to work, and yes, we need to be productive. But what would it look like to design our life, not just around our work, but around all the important facets of our life? So we have this wheel of life, you may have seen those before, where you have different spokes in the wheel. And one of the spokes, of course, is work. And so we have to figure out how is work going to fit into our daily, weekly life? And then you have relationships that could be with grandkids, spouse, friends, family. How much time are you going to allot to investing in those relationships and other social activities, whether it's church or your pickleball group? How much time do you want to invest in that group? And then maybe volunteering, spending time, serving or volunteering in your community. How much time do you want to allot to that? Because the reality is we only have so much time during the week. That's why I love what freelancing has afforded us for so many years, that we've been able to design our own lifestyle. We've been able to homeschool our kids when they were younger. And now as our kids are off to college, we can pack up our laptops and take our work wherever we want. We love the ability to design our life around our business, around our personal relationships, and the important things in our life. And that's sort of lifestyle design. And so as you look at your life and maybe the ideal work life that you would like to have moving forward, what does that look like? What does it look like for you? And so I want to ask you 3 questions, and I'd love you to comment on them in this video in the comments below. So number 1, what time of day would you ideally like to work? Do you like to work early in the morning at 6 a.m.? Do you prefer to start at 6 p.m.? We're all wired uniquely, and we all tend to thrive at certain times of the day. So what would that look like for you? So what time of the day would you like to start? That's the first question. The second question number 2, is how often would you like to work? So how many days a week? How many hours per day? What would your ideal work schedule look like if you were freelancing or running your own business? All right. And then the third question is, where would you like to work? Would you like to work in your home office or at your kitchen table? Would you like to work at a local coffee shop? Would you like to travel to where your kids or grandkids are and be able to work there? What would be the ideal location for you? Okay, so 3 questions. What time of the day would you like to work? How often would you like to work per week? And where would you like to work? So to give you an example with my schedule, and it has certainly evolved over the years, now that I'm over 50 and my kids are either married or off at college, the schedule in life looks a little bit different. And so now my ideal work week is as follows. I work 25 to 30 hours per week. Not 40 hours, not 50 hours, but 25 to 30 hours a week. I typically do it between Monday and Friday. Sometimes I'll take Friday off if I want. Sometimes I'll take Monday off if I want. But typically it's Monday to Friday. I usually work between the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. because that's where I find I can be most productive. I can produce the best kind of work, and I have the most amount of energy. So 10 to 4 is pretty much a good work hustle time for me. I typically never work on weekends. I might do a bit of planning on Sunday night just to kind of prepare myself for the week ahead, but not a lot of work is getting done on the weekend. And I love my work schedule to be portable so that I can quickly pack up my laptop, go to watch one of my daughters swim. They're competitive swimmers in college, or travel to a different location or go to a coffee shop. So I love the ability to take my work with me. And I find that almost gives me more energy as well. So that is a snapshot of my weekly schedule. So thinking of those 3 questions that I went through, in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. What is your ideal work week? What would that look like for you? I encourage you definitely to go below in the description and sign up for our newsletter. We talk a lot about topics such as lifestyle design and freelancing after 50. And so definitely sign up for our newsletter if you have not yet. Have a great day, everyone.